What up?
Big.
What's going on, Billy?
How you doing, young man?
I'm chilling, y'all. It's the outspoken ones in the building.
Here's the house. So it is late Friday night, Eastern time. It's 11:30-ish, 11:30-ish, the late hour. We've actually been on here for a couple hours. Would you agree?
I would agree.
You would agree. All right. Put a little something in the back there. I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah. It's low. We'll do a little something low back there. But here's the thing. So tonight we just popping on, talking. And when we did our introduction, Big was really like heated on these taxes. And this new law that's going around last couple years for this $600 you got to report. And it's total for the year now. We're not talking about just $600 here and there. We're talking about $600 total. So if you cut grass, you make $600 in the whole year, you got to report that. If somebody passes you some money because you paid for something, you may have to report that. Depending on the platform, we don't know which banks are taking part yet. Some banks said they won't. Credit unions, from what I've read, don't know that officially. Remember, it's your job to check that, because tax codes are crazy. But right now, we're going to rant and rave about this new tax law that's been trying to make its way for the last 2 years into our lives and been postponed because people have been outspoken, apparently.
And needing to be so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to open the floor for Big. I know he wants to rant and get it on, man. So,
well, let me say this. I told you I would look it up, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do. So I found a really cool article from Kelly Taylor, and it looks like from Keplinger. I'm not sure what that is, but anyway, it's an article from Keplinger. We'll put the link in the description if you want to see the article. All the details.
Is that the one from November last year we're talking
about? This one is
one from November 27th, 2023.
It's talking about that in here. I'm gonna go through some of it. Let me see when.
If you just scroll a little ways, not too far, just a little ways.
Well, no, it's
not showing. Okay. Anyways, we'll put the link in the description so that way people.
Yeah, we'll put the link in that way. You'll get it from a senior tax editor by the name of Kelly R. Taylor with Keplinger.com, and it's good information, and it put me in a little bit of a better mood. Because it's talking about the IRS and how it was $600 at one point and they delayed it. Okay, I think Billy had mentioned that to me, but
it was at one point. Like I said, the last 2 years is supposed to be. All right, how about this? Let's do this. Let's go back to prior to that bill or that rule, whatever. Right. I don't know.
2022.
Yeah, so. It used to be like if you were doing PayPal, okay, it was $20,000, I believe, and I don't know, it was a crazy amount of transactions. It was like 200.
Well, no, that's the proposed.
No, hold on. It used to be $20,000 and 200 transactions. You would automatically get a 1099 or most people know them as a W-2, but if you're doing your own thing, 1099, you will receive a tax form.
1099K.
Well, that's okay. The nuances of I was just saying 1099, which means you're claiming your own money, depending on what type of money you're doing. But if you were doing the law was $20,000 and remember this, and 200 transactions. So if you did 500 transactions and only did 15 grand, you didn't have you're still supposed to report that always. It's been that for years. But as far as
it's true income.
No, but my point is, hold on. Let's say you did 20,000 and you did 200 transactions, and they were all losses. Companies still will report you because they're liable. They have to. That's my point. So it was $20,000 and 200 transactions. But if you did 15 grand and 500 transactions, you didn't get reported because it had to be and. There was no or.
It had to be both.
Had to be
Both
both.
of the items, right?
So what I'm saying is, like, even if you lost money and you did 500 transactions at 50 grand, you still got reported as this was your income. Now it's your job on your taxes to itemize and show those losses and gains, losses and gains. Does that make sense?
So no, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, so the last 2 years, they moved it to $600 total for the year, and there was no transactions involved number. And each year, the last 2 years, November, December, they nixed it and said, okay, we're going to give you one more year of leeway. All right, we'll give you another year because now the companies, they don't really know which transactions to report. And we need a clarification. Now, my understanding is this year, from what I read, it's $5,000, not $600. The $600 will
that
come into effect.
The $5,000 per this report that's the plan for this year, meaning this
only this year,
2024.
Correct. The $600 is still in place. It's just the last 2 years it's been delayed. It's in place this year, but they've changed. They've given like not agreements. What would you call that? Like a leeway. It's $5,000 this year. It's giving companies a time to prepare to report your ass. Basically, next year will be $600. So they say.
Right. What they said though, it's based on you're responsible if you got a business to report the income.
That's always been the case. That's the thing I was trying to tell you.
Right. But so why make a change then? That was my whole thing is if people know what they're supposed to claim and not claim, so why do this and blanket everyone that may not even have a business? Why blanket everybody?
Yeah, because for example, so like let's say 100 people out of 100 people. Well, okay, that sounds dumb. Let's do 200 people, all right, out of 500 people did over the 20,200 transactions, the original amount, and said, well, I'm over. Well, damn, automatically I'm getting a 1099 from
right, but I still
eBay or Mercari or hold on. So I'm just gonna throw my point out there. I'm just get to this and let you go. So now they're saying, okay, we got people who are doing 15 grand and less than 200 transactions. They're responsible to claim their taxes, even though they're not getting a 1099, but they're not coming forward and saying, hey, here's what I made. So they set it at $600. And that's now it comes forward. It's up to you to prove that 600 was not income. The burden is on you, basically. But go ahead. I'll put you back on. Man.
Okay, so right now, initially, like I said, we said it was set for 600, and now for this year, meaning this working year, 2023, to file, in 2024.
24, right?
It's what Billy was talking about earlier, the 20,200 transactions.
Actually, that was
I'm looking at the article right here, Billy.
Well, no, but it was 2 years ago.
Well, they kept pushing it out. They've delayed
it.
So
it stayed at 20,000.
What they're saying what this article is saying, and like I said, we're gonna put a link
in there
in the description for you guys for this article. You get a 1099K for $20,000 in transactions and 200 transactions. So
you gotta have both.
The two.
You have both.
The combination of 20,000, not one 20,000, because remember now, the law has not changed with a single transaction being 10,000. Can you not hear me?
Tilt it down a little bit. I would say tilt it down a little bit.
Oh, me?
There you go. Because when you're talking, it's like,
it's blocking my pretty eyes. So remember, anything over 10,000, you got to report that. That's got to be reported.
Yeah. It's getting caught in my throat when you talk like that. That's an inside joke for everybody for later. Oh, that sounds terrible. God damn, I'm going to cut that out. Bump it. We ain't cutting nothing. Let's go. You just got that. It took you a minute to catch that. I'm like, God dang it, man.
Yeah, that ain't what it is, y'all.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, that ain't what it is.
It was pizza and pepperoni.
It's the whole, y'all will see that at some point.
Eventually, yeah, we'll get into that. Go ahead.
But for this, just remember 10,000. I just want to remind everybody about the 10,000 because
5,000.
No.
Is that saying 10?
Well, the 10,000, that's standard. That's been in place, to prevent.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, great point.
Yeah, the money laundering and
if you pay your car off, you pay $9,999 instead of $10,000.
Right, exactly. A single transaction of 10,000 or more. But you got.
Remember on those sites though, or those payment processors, it has to be 20 grand and 200 transactions.
Right,
so
20 grand.
Even if you did 10 grand in one whop, if it wasn't 200, if you didn't do 199 more transactions, then it didn't get reported. That's my point. So it doesn't matter.
Well, let me say this: I still am the believer of the 10 grand.
You're talking about just banks, though,
right? But what happens if you're using most of these movers? The digital movers, transfer fund companies, they're transferring it to a bank in most cases. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the third party, in the middle. I can't think of the word, but transfer company.
So how do you feel about that with the $600 having? I mean, obviously, I know how you feel. And if you watched our intro, I'll link that also in the description. You go back and watch the first video where we kind of got off we had a certain topic. Several times. We always segue, but we had a topic we were going to get on, and Big was fired up about that tax because I think that was tax day. I think that was the 15th.
Well, I was just
14th or 15th. I think it was the 15th, wasn't it?
I can't remember what day it was, but it irritates me when I feel like we're being overtaxed. Because it's not like we don't pay enough. And people just aren't even aware of how much they pay in taxes because, you pay, everything has a tax on it. I mean, you buy candy, you get taxed. You buy gas, you get taxed.
Man,
you gotta pay,
you know me, man. You know me, devil's advocate, right?
Yeah, most states have some type of personal property.
But I used to go to Candy Lady 3 times on the door. She opened the door, I pay 50 cents for my snacks. I pay $1 for my jug. Are you yawning, man?
Sorry, man. It's getting late.
Man, you're a hard worker, bro. That's what's wrong. But I didn't pay tax on. That's the thing about growing up. When you bought stuff from the
you paid tax.
Well, no, I'm talking about the Candy Lady.
I know you're talking about the Candy Lady, but you paid some tax. You think if it was 46 cents and she rounded up to 50?
And I'm glad that you brought about me paying tax when I was young. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't get a chance to say something in the video we did, the first video we did, when you were talking about taxes, representation without taxation, without representation.
Right.
My first job, I got hired at 15, some change. I was working at 16, 17, 18. Okay. I couldn't vote until I was 18. But yet it's supposed to be no representation, no taxation without representation, right? So I didn't have a say-so in the election, but yet they taxed the hell out of me on that little bit of money I made, in my opinion.
Right.
Back then. I was like, all right, if I know I'm making 400, I'm only going to bring home 300, 250, whatever it was. You're going to have to pay all this shit. So, that phrase is kind of, it's not 100% true.
Absolutely, it's not.
I mean, if somebody under 18 can't vote, then if you can work, how are you represented when you pay taxes?
Think about it. It's the same with the kids, the very young adults that go in the military. They can't drink.
Yeah, but you can't go in the military till you're 18. You can vote, though. That was what I'm
right.
getting at.
I'm just saying, there's still adult things that you can't do.
Yeah, but
you're all fighting a war in potentially,
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, if you can hold a gun and go shoot people, why can't you drink a beer?
Can't own a gun.
Huh?
You got to be 21. Isn't it 21 for handgun?
Nah, that's state rights. It depends on the state.
Depends on the state. Right, but I'm saying there's still states where you cannot own a handgun. You can own a shotgun, but a handgun but you can go get issued a gun
and go fight. But fight. I mean, mad respect to anybody who fights for our country, though.
Absolutely.
How about this? That's a sensitive topic, but I'll go there. I'll just say, look, it's like this.
And they're paying
tax. Yeah, I don't want anybody to be at war. I'm on the record. I don't want nobody to be at war.
Right.
But if it comes down to me being protected in my family and my land and my people around me and my neighborhoods and everyone around me, unfortunately, people want to do you harm based on where you live, just based on where you are. They don't even know you. They don't give a shit about your race, your creeds, your religions, none of that shit. Your heritage, nothing. It's where you're located. And I can tell you right now, it's not an opinion. It's fact that no matter who you are, you didn't choose to be that. You didn't pick that shit. You didn't go, hey, I want to be this when I'm born. Not even nobody I know of. So the people who want to do harm to you,
as far as we know.
Exactly. Well, shit. That person needs to come on the show. Whoever that person is that thinks they know, I welcome you to come on. I'll put your ass in a little headset. You come on here and you can talk. I would love to talk to you. If you think that you had a choice in where you were born, who you were born to, your religion, your color, whatever, I would love to talk to that person. So anyway, taxes, $600, man. Keep on getting on it. We see this is what happens when you start talking. It's like being at a barbecue, man.
Yeah. So the rule was required. Well, let's say this. For some reason, they were looking like some of those marketplace ones like PayPal, Venmo, Etsy, eBay, StubHub, etc., stuff like that, but not Zelle. Zelle, from what the article was saying, they don't report the transaction.
Well, I guess because now, if you think about, now, I don't know this for a fact, but does eBay or you said, what was the other one you said?
Etsy, Venmo.
Etsy.
Yeah, and it says etc. So,
but is Etsy or Macari is the other one?
Marketplace.
Does any of those use Zelle on their platform, or they only take credit cards or credit for them, like PayPal credit or eBay credit or whatever? Does any of them take Zelle? They don't. I don't think they do that.
I don't know, but they do feed into an account.
I can tell you this, on eBay, I know for a fact because I bought stuff. It says do not communicate, blah blah blah, outside of whatever. So it only gives you an option to pay two ways, or three ways. You can do the PayPal's not even like a number one thing. They don't even do. They're not even owned by PayPal, or not. PayPal doesn't own them, or they don't own PayPal anyway.
Who are you talking about?
eBay.
Oh no, PayPal is its own thing.
Right. So my thing is, if they don't do Zelle at all, none of those platforms, which I've bought off of all of them. I don't recall any of them letting me use Zelle. So I guess my point is, like, if Zelle's not a part of those platforms, then they're not being reported, and it's not a part. They don't, then Zelle is probably most likely being used for or people who are using money back and forth. Like if you want to pay for half the meal,
right, or share a ride together.
$200 for you covering me last week, then I pay you back, and it's one less thing that's a nuance to have to worry about.
And Zelle, typically, I mean, they have caps like some of the like all of the transfer community or whatever you want to call it, apps. Is normally pretty instant when you send a Zelle.
Yeah, that's the thing too, but it's not protected. Like if you do PayPal, so like when I'm on Instagram, if somebody's selling something that I want, you do the friends and family, or you do the PayPal Protect. So they get charged a fee if you don't do friends and family. So Zelle's not protected. So I guess what's happening is, since Zelle doesn't have protection, if you Zelle somebody some money, that means you either know them or you really it's something that you owe somebody. That's what I'm trying to get at. PayPal has the option for friends and family or for goods and services.
I see what
So
you
Zelle doesn't have that. So if I Zelle you money, that tells the government, okay, he really owed him
knows
or
that
her
person.
this money, or they're splitting a bill. That's the protection's gone, because there is no getting your money back. Once you Zelle somebody,
That's the same with Cash App. If you send it to the wrong person, they don't give them no money back. Huh?
Is that on there?
Cash App is not, but they're a marketplace. I mean,
I'm saying, but it's not listed. Like, that's what I'm getting at. So I think the
they could have listed a ton more.
Yeah.
But,
The
let me say this too. This is a tip that I want to give to everybody, and this is just what I do, because I pay attention to the big boys and what they do. So when you set up your direct deposit initially, your bank will deposit some pennies to verify your account to make sure it's you, right?
Yeah, 16
So
cent,
before-
$1.20, 40 cent. Yeah.
So the very first time, whenever, even if I know it's right, a Cash App or some kind of digital transaction where I know I'm going to send somebody some money, I always send, because I think the minimum is $1. I send $1 to verify that it's them, because I can lose $1. But if I'm sending somebody $500, I don't want to lose $500, because whatever you owe that person, I mean, you still going to
and that can apply across the board, even PayPal. So like if you're sending somebody friends and family, so like for example, say I go online, I'm buying, a t-shirt for, baseball, whatever.
Right.
Person sends me their email. Well, let's say somebody spoofed their email, but not spoof, but like they use their email, but one letter's different. And you send it to the wrong account. Like you said, if you don't send it by goods and services because you're trying to save them fees, you're out the money. And you know how you ever been to Shell and got gas? Okay, you know how they have the little Shell rewards, like you click the rewards button.
Absolutely.
You don't have the card, you put an alternate ID, which is just phone number.
Right, that's right.
All right, so I've done that before in a rush, and it's got lag, and it typed in the wrong number because I was moving too fast. I mean, I had like 35-40 cents a gallon off. Seriously, from my 5 cents.
I've had that before. So but it was legitimately mine.
Well, I canceled. I could have. Now, I assume I could have used it and they still would have got points, but I didn't want to take up, that's not right for me to use it. I did the right thing.
Very honorable of you, brother.
Well, it was, I could have used the money too. I could have 34, I think it was 35 cents off a gallon.
If you fill it up too, that's a lot. I've had that. I've had that happen. I've had, I haven't got it lately because my cell phone carrier, they give like discounts, and they used to give big ones. And then it would combine, because I had a fuel rewards card. So with that, you get 10. Then with the bonus, you get that. And then sometimes, if depending on what day of the week it is, they may give you a 5 or 10 cents off. So it can get sizable over there, which is amazing, which lets me know the gas is really overinflated in price. Because how else could you afford to?
That's another,
off.
And right now, if you look, the U.S. is putting out the highest production we've ever put out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting with all the electric cars on the road and hybrids.
Well, we're producing more oil than we've ever produced.
Interesting.
I word it that way. But yet our fuel
so
prices.
Is it going to the reserves?
Or I didn't get into detail. I just know that we are producing more oil right now than we've ever produced, which is natural. That's natural, not political. That's natural. As time progresses and more people, you're going to naturally produce more oil. But
I know fracking is up as well.
We gotta. I don't want to get into politics shit, but I'm just saying right now I don't mind. So we are producing more oil than we've ever produced, and of course you'll have so many people come from different sides. We're blah 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 blah. Point is, why is the price what it is? Well, don't say there's no damn demand, because in my world, demand means prices go lower when the demand is so high and there's people producing the most ever, because at that point there's so many people using it.
But that ain't business.
Because
It's
you can
just,
say, well,
it's
demand
just
is
like,
high, so price is high.
think about this.
There's like, hold on. So right now, I'm gonna jump. I hate to go to this right now, but it's the last thing on my mind because we're talking about prices. That Caitlin Clark jersey sold out all sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Price didn't change. They're just gonna run more jerseys. Now you might not get it till the season's over or 3/4 of the way into the season from Nike or Dick's or wherever you buy it from. But the point is, it had a high demand, so they rerun it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know fossil fuels and different things are different. But if the demand is real high, people are using it, and you're producing the most you've ever produced. And of course, now we're throwing electric cars into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shit ton of people charging cars.
I
would love, we should do one day. I'm getting off track here again, man, but I would love to
easy
see.
to do, man.